Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Storm Trading Academy. Just to be clear in the very beginning, this channel has no reason to be entertaining, distracting, or supporting the idea of escapism from reality. STA exists to dispel delusion by providing and sharing value based on experience and study. My name is Storm, and why I started this channel is because I have been a profitable trader for a while now, and oftentimes I repeat these things in my mind and tell them to myself out loud or in an inner conversation. And I lately I have been feeling this urge to share those things that I know help me getting profitable and just having an overall more peaceful state of mind, being more patient, being more disciplined, having joy within instead of chasing pleasure without or in external things, which is a chase without end. But as the title says in the thumbnail, today we will be speaking about what the key is to profitability in trading. Well, what is profitability to begin with? Well, profitability doesn't mean just having a profitable trade with a buy or sell order. No. Profitability comes with consistency. Profitability means consistent profits on a monthly basis based on a working strategy that you have tested over time and that you have a feel for because you have gathered a lot of data with your strategy. But how do you get to that point of having a strategy? Well, there are, as you know, many strategies, but the key is to take every little step in the beginning, to learn the basics, to learn the technicals, to learn every little detail, whether you're trading Forex or futures or something else. Take every tiny step and don't give in to that urge to skip steps. So, in a usual way, if everything goes right from the start, which oftentimes doesn't happen, you start with studying theoretically all the details, all the basics, and you start visualizing them on the charts, and you can either learn from free sources on the internet or from courses or from people you know to be profitable with trading, and you go over all the theoretical parts until they make sense to you, until you know every little part of your strategy and why it is so. And then you start implementing this on the charts with backtesting. And when you are profitable in a simulated software like TradingView, you can use the replay bar or FX replay. When you keep showing profitability with backtesting, then you're ready to go over to forward testing, which is still with no real money, which is still really safe to put the time in and to get experience with your strategy. And forward testing means you just do the exact same routine, your analysis, the sessions you choose to trade with, and you execute your trades according to your strategy and your plan. And in these steps of backtesting, forward testing, you collect a lot of data. This is a step you cannot skip, because if you don't collect the data, you don't journal. You just don't know when your strategy does work or doesn't work. So you're kind of just like in the Wild West, just doing things without making any sense. Once you go through these two steps, you can take the step to live trading or challenge accounts with funded prop firms. And this is another big step in the beginning, because now it's not just a simulated software in a sense of that there is actually just no risk. Because now when you buy a challenge or you fund a personal brokerage account, you know that there is real profit to be gained. And that can mess with your emotions. But here comes the thing. So as I've said, profitability is not just a winning trade or having a payout. It's consistency over months and over years, having consistent green months, having consistent profits, and scaling those profits at your realistic percentage each month, which can differ, of course, becomes more and more valuable because you scale your capital. What I mean with don't hope is being a profitable trader is not something you have to keep pushing far away ahead of you in the future. Because if you keep hoping to become profitable, if you keep thinking, well, if I'm profitable, I will be doing this, or I will live like a professional, or then I will probably be more disciplined. No, it doesn't work that way. If you hope for a certain future, you just keep pushing it away from you. So what I mean with don't hope is don't hope, but believe. And once you start believing and those experiences come to you of your vision or your idea about the future, realizing part by part, step by step, you transfer or you transform from believing into knowing that vision already is. And when we come to the next word, which is obviously in the title, that the key is found within, it means that if you start, instead of hoping, instead of thinking, well, if I am profitable, then this or that, if you start realizing that if you already believe and know that you are profitable, and you have your strategy, you have tested it in back testing, forward testing, and are profitable with those things, you can just implement that with knowing you are profitable, because you have a system that works with probabilities, of course, with a win rate, with a risk to reward ratio. So, in order to, instead of wanting to be, hoping to be profitable, you are. You see the vision in front of you. And you start from that day on thinking, feeling, and acting on the same frequency in alignment with that profitable trader you believe yourself to be. And then before you know, every day you do those little disciplined things. You start being profitable before you know it. And then you realize that it was never the thing to be hoping for, but it was about being in the moment a profitable trader. Because the present moment is the only thing there is, and that is what shapes your envisioned future. So there is no such thing as hoping or wanting to be profitable in the future. The only thing there is to do is to start thinking, feeling, and acting like a profitable trader. Having the discipline to show up every day consistently. To know when to sit on your hands if the market doesn't tell you this is your edge. If the market doesn't align with your plan and your back-tested, forward-tested, and journaled strategy. If it doesn't align, you don't trade. It is that simple. And that's why simplicity, discipline, and consistency are so often seen as cliche, but they are the keys to long term profitability. And not only in trading, but also in life. Because the most beautiful thing about trading is not the profits that start coming in, but it's the person you develop, the person you become in order to be profitable consistently. That is the real reward. That inner feeling of joy and rest, peacefulness, that you just know that it's not the external things that bring you these inner states of joy and peace. And with that being said, this channel will consist out of more videos that just come to mind in a sense of all those times lately I have been having this urge to share these valuable points, what made me profitable, what brought me inner joy and peace and clarity in daily life. So the most videos I will be uploading will be based on intuitively getting ideas that I want to share without being very prepared and entertaining to watch. But the purpose of these videos are solely to help you, ladies and gentlemen, to share values that I have experienced or gathered through studying, through failure, and through success. And if you have any suggestions, any technical questions, any psychological questions, philosophical questions, spiritual questions to make a video about, just comment it down below, and together we will help each other.